Hello my dear friends, my name is Dmitry and you're currently watching the Pestretsov Shop channel. Today we're going to be unboxing an external enclosure for an M.2 NVMe solid-state hard drive. So it's very important to understand that there are different types of drives with different keys or interfaces, but this is actually the fastest drive I specifically chose. Its main advantage is that it efficiently dissipates heat from the hard drive components, from the memory chips themselves, directly to its own external enclosure. Previously I had purchased some other drives and they typically had flat heat sinks located inside which were packed together with the heat sink within the case. As a result, the heat was transferred to these internal heat sinks situated inside the enclosure without ever truly touching the outer case. Essentially, you ended up with a kind of closed thermal loop. I ordered this particular kind of hard drive from a Chinese store and now we can basically open it up. Then we'll carefully assemble our hard drive into it and try testing it. First for its speed and second for the temperature that the outer shell will heat up to. Well, this should prove to be quite interesting, so let's get started with this exciting process. I bought this enclosure for this hard drive of mine. I have some unnecessary Viper Gaming NPS 100 Series 1 terabyte drive lying around here. Basically, I replaced a drive in one of my computers, so this one was left over. It's been lying around for about 4 or 5 months now and I haven't used it. So I wanted to put it into this enclosure and see how it works. As for the stated specs of this hard drive, if I remember correctly, if I'm not mistaken, it's about 3,500 megabytes per second read speed. I can't tell you the right speed for sure, I don't remember, but you can look it up online, so we'll install it in this case and see how it performs. Description: a high-speed stylish universal enclosure for NVMe. The JEYI M.2 is a premium external enclosure for M.2 solid-state drives, which turns your NVMe or SATA SSD into a fast, reliable external drive. The enclosure supports the USB 3.2 Gen 2 protocol with bandwidth up to 10 gigabits per second, making it an ideal solution for backups, video editing, gaming, and everyday work with large files. Key features: speeds up to 10 gigabits per second. Support for the USB 3.2 Gen 2 interface provides ultra-fast data transfer rates of up to 1000 megabytes per second with NVMe SSDs. Dual compatibility with NVMe and SATA, compatible with both NVMe M key and SATA B key or B+ M key drives. There's no need to choose a separate enclosure for each type of M.2 SSD. Supports 2230, 2242, 2260 and 2280 sizes. The aluminum enclosure with heat dissipation features a durable anodized body that effectively disperses heat. The package includes a thermal pad and a heat conductive plate for additional cooling. Tool-free, quick SSD installation without a screwdriver, perfect for users who value mobile solutions. Supports trim and UASP for NVMe drives, providing accelerated command processing and extended lifespan thanks to UASP and trim protocols. Just plug and play. Fully compatible with Windows, macOS, Linux, Android, Smart TV, PlayStation 5 and laptops and tablets, no drivers required. Reliability, plug-and-play support, no overheating, protection against short circuits and overloads, stable connection without failures or data loss. JEYI M.2 is a powerful solution in a compact form factor, ideal for both professional tasks and personal use. If you are looking for a stylish, fast and versatile SSD enclosure, this is your choice. So let's carefully open this package together, thoroughly examine what it truly looks like, precisely as it was originally sent and packaged by the esteemed manufacturer. Here, as we can clearly see, it's just a very regular, ordinary box. In fact, there's even a prominent QR code displayed on its surface that explicitly says something along the lines of "Please scan me," and then you can easily get the complete user manual for this product. Alright, with careful consideration, let's proceed to meticulously cut it open, ensuring precision in our actions. And as we gently reveal the interior, let's take a moment to truly observe what we have here. It appears there's an entire, complete set nestled securely within, waiting to be fully unveiled. Wow, they even included the thermal conductive rubber right here in the package. This is for each individual chip. And there are 10 of them in total, which is actually a pretty good and quite impressive number. Wait a moment, maybe it's not exactly 10. No, that's absolutely right, there are indeed 10. This entire thing is thoughtfully designed to be double-sided. Yes, this particular item is double-sided. And here there's a little convenient lanyard for the actual drive itself, so you can easily carry it around just like a small keychain. There's also a tiny essential screw included in the package. Next we have some kind of official certificate, which is entirely in Chinese, and it comes neatly packaged within the box. And then there's a high-quality USB Type-C to USB Type-C cable. The overall quality is actually really quite impressive, I genuinely have to say. The connectors themselves are clearly branded and are robustly made of solid metal. It's about, well, approximately 30 centimeters in length, roughly that size. Next in this very useful set is a precise little screwdriver. It clearly states here that it measures 30 millimeters in total length, has a slender 2 millimeters in diameter, and is a standard Phillips head type, which is ideal for many common screws. Another cable, oh my god, what is this? I do not even remember ever having something like this anywhere in my collection of electronics or accessories. This particular one is a USB Type-C to regular USB-A cable, which is quite standard, but still a welcome addition. And of course the main event, the drive itself, which is carefully packed and presented in its own separate protective case. Let us take a closer look at it, let us proceed to open it up and examine its contents. It is surprisingly hefty. Wow, that is genuinely and unexpectedly heavy. You can really feel the substantial weight in your hand. It is quite a substantial piece of hardware, I have to say, much more so than I anticipated. This is what it visually looks like. It is meticulously made entirely of a solid metal material, featuring a prominent USB Type-C port for modern connectivity. There is a single, small screw located here, which presumably holds the casing together. Let us weigh it to get a precise measurement. It comes in at almost 50 grams, so that is pretty decent and reassuring. You can really feel that it possesses a significant sturdiness and build quality. It is definitely not some flimsy, fragile, or easily breakable thing. On the contrary, it feels incredibly solid, exceptionally well made, and truly robust in its construction. You could probably even use it for self-defense if you found yourself in an unexpected and unfortunate situation where it was absolutely necessary. As for its physical dimensions, the thickness measures 10.5 millimeters, the width spans 28.6 millimeters, and now let us carefully measure the length. It extends to 102.7 millimeters. That is not bad at all for a portable storage device. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, there is a small subtle LED indicator light located here that apparently illuminates to indicate the device's operational status, letting you know when it's active or transferring data. Now, about this screw. Man, it is really tight and firmly secured, requiring a bit of effort to loosen. There is another identical black screw just like it on the other side. How exactly does it open? Ah, it just slides off with a satisfying click. Here we have the exposed internal components. The circuit board is clearly visible, along with the slot itself where the drive would be inserted, and as we can clearly see, the chips are strategically positioned over an empty space, likely for better heat management. It is securely fastened with that single screw we observed earlier, and on the other side there is a metal plate that presses firmly against the drive, effectively helping to dissipate heat away from the sensitive components and transfer it to this larger external metal plate, ensuring optimal performance and longevity. So now, to fully understand and thoroughly try it out, to clearly see exactly how this entire process will meticulously work, we simply and carefully insert the drive right here into its designated slot, then gently cover it with the protective lid, ensuring a snug fit, and finally securely close it up. Here, if you observe closely, we have precisely 4 distinct spots where we can strategically stick our thermal pad, and over here, on this side, we have another 3, specifically 3 on one section and 3 on another. So what we absolutely need to do is just carefully take each individual thermal pad and precisely place it directly onto the corresponding chips, making sure to lay it on very gently and accurately. Every single step of this procedure should be incredibly simple, straightforward, and easy to follow, ensuring optimal performance and heat dissipation. It's inconvenient at an awkward angle. So, well, it turns out we have something like this. In other words, we're doing this through a sticker. Of course, the efficiency won't be quite as good as we'd probably like, but when I press the disc against it, I can already feel that it's making direct contact with the metal surface. It's really sticking there. So, the heat transfer should, in theory, be decent. Now here, very carefully, I'm applying it to all the chips, to the controller and to the memory chips. This kit is perfect for the price. You won't find better. Everything's included, and crucially, nothing should overheat. Surprisingly, the thermal pad itself is overheating. Alright, well basically that's the entire process. Now, with careful precision, let's proceed to insert it into its designated position. Right at this very moment, I can distinctly feel that it's incredibly, exceptionally tight. Yes, honestly, it's protruding and sticking out quite a significant bit more than anticipated. Perhaps I might have indeed overdone it on that particular side, specifically with the application of the adhesive, or maybe I genuinely shouldn't have applied so much pressure when sticking it down. Well, we shall observe and see how it ultimately turns out. For me personally, the most paramount and crucial aspect is always efficiency in the task. The aesthetic appearance, while important, is definitely secondary in this particular scenario. You can clearly observe that it's still sticking out just a tiny minuscule bit, yes, but it's apparently under a considerable amount of internal pressure. What I mean to convey is that it's currently being firmly pressed and held in place from both opposing sides, ensuring a secure fit despite the slight protrusion. Maybe over time, this thermal rubber will spread out a little bit, so to speak, since it's quite pliable and under pressure, and the case will eventually straighten out. So we'll just have to test it and then see precisely how it will work. Is registering at 28 degrees Celsius, although for some particular reason the accompanying display table or monitoring software actually shows a slightly different reading of 29 degrees Celsius. Okay, I am now carefully plugging in the USB Type-C cable into its designated slot, and here we go. The connection is successfully established. We haven't even started the actual test yet, but as we can clearly see, the drive is already beginning to noticeably heat up, specifically in the crucial area where we have the thermal pads, and that's precisely where the main controller is strategically located. We can immediately see that the hard drive's enclosure effectively dissipates heat quite well, in fact. Alright, now I will commence the comprehensive test. I will significantly speed up the footage, and during this accelerated time we will carefully observe precisely how this drive progressively heats up. Take a very close look at how intensely hot the controller component gets. However, to be fair and accurate, the generated heat is actually dissipated across the unit more or less evenly. Even these strategically designed grooves provide assistance, since their temperature is distinctly not uniform with the overall temperature of the rest of the enclosure. So now I'm looking at the read speed, which is a crucial metric for evaluating the performance of this drive. The drive consistently showed impressive read speeds, specifically 1000 megabytes per second, then 1117 megabytes per second, and finally 944 megabytes per second. These figures represent our current read speed measurements, indicating a robust data retrieval capability. Meanwhile, as these tests are being conducted, our drive has already heated up to a noticeable 42 degrees Celsius. This temperature reading is important to monitor, as it can impact sustained performance. Now we will proceed to run another comprehensive test, which will involve the extensive process of copying a large volume of files onto it. These files will primarily consist of large media, such as high-definition videos, which are excellent for stressing the drive's write capabilities. Let's see. We'll transfer approximately 100 gigabytes of data in this phase, and to keep the video concise and engaging for the viewer, we'll speed up the footage of this transfer process several more times. However, as you can clearly observe, despite the ongoing operations, the drive continues its trend of heating up, indicating a significant thermal load. Following this, we'll add yet another substantial batch of files to further assess its performance under prolonged and heavy usage conditions. Here's an immediate and rather important question to consider. If, for example, you were to choose a hard drive that is housed within a simple plastic case, you can easily imagine just how much heat would accumulate and become trapped inside, primarily because the plastic material does not allow the heat to dissipate effectively. In this current situation, even with the benefit of a metal case, which is generally better for thermal management, the device has already heated up to a noticeable 52 degrees Celsius. You can clearly observe that it has now reached 53 degrees, and the temperature is still very slowly but steadily creeping upwards. we absolutely need to thoroughly check the other side of the device as well, as it feels remarkably hot to the touch. Indeed, upon inspection of the opposite side, it has heated up even further, reaching a significant 56 degrees Celsius. This elevated temperature is directly from the drive itself. However, I believe that this marks the conclusive end of our current testing phase. I think it's now quite clear what exactly is transpiring here regarding the thermal performance. In any case, I want to emphasize that the heat generated by the internal components dissipates quite well and efficiently through the conductive properties of the metal case. Well, my dear friends, that was a little unboxing and a comprehensive test of this impressive NVMe drive enclosure. You truly saw everything for yourselves in great detail. If you genuinely liked this thorough review, please give it a very big thumbs up. Don't forget to check out Boosty. The convenient link to the product will be readily available for you both as a scannable QR code right here on screen and directly in the description box below. And if you have any valuable suggestions for more interesting tests you would like me to perform, or if you simply want to add something important, please feel free to write a comment and let me know your thoughts.